is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned, because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey, everybody, welcome. We've got a great show for you today. I mean, those of us that have been down the road of healing, there are so many things that, given that I moved to the Pacific Northwest and have been surrounded by so many incredible practitioners, there are some things that I've learned that we just don't share enough about. Today, we're going to talk about the rising consciousness and the role of salt frequencies. Yes, frequencies. My very special guest, Salica Geiger, joining me here today. And part of this is to understand, one, everything has a frequency. We've done like 5 shows this week demonstrating everything has a frequency. But what about this abundant, natural frequency of salt? What about it? How do the oceans stay so vibrant? But what is it about us in humanity that forget or don't realize that the healing properties have been used for thousands of years? And here we sit in a conundrum. So today, fasten your seatbelts and let's take that quantum ride to look at the frequencies of salt. Thank you for joining me here today. So, look, a part of this is educating people on something that is so vital and has been so vitalistic to the survival of humanity. And yet, we just don't even know what we don't know. So let's talk about salt frequency. What is it? And you're an expert in this field. This is something that you live and breathe, because in our previous shows, we talked about why it's so important, but we're not talking about salt frequencies. Tell us what that is.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pat. Great to be here again. And yes, let's talk about salt frequencies. As you said, everything has a frequency, and also salt has a frequency, but we have forgotten about it. We take it as somehow normal that if we are, or when we are at the ocean, that we feel good. But there is much more about salt than this level we know on Earth. It's also a heavenly frequency, and salt has the gift to remind us, human beings, that we are also divine beings. And so you can imagine a divine being has a high frequency, and salt also has a very high frequency. And just if you have contact with salt frequency, so you are reminded of your own divine being and your own divine frequency. So it's a very easy process, in fact.
We so often, those of us that participate in active sports, we are so reminded by our coaches and the people around us about exactly what you're talking about, but never at the depth. And, for me, this journey, starting the network 23 years ago, was a spiritual journey. And so we do have to remind ourselves and the audience that this too is a spiritual agency. And that's the word that I love to use, because agencies to me have been these, whether they're conceptual or reality, they are these things that if we adapt and adopt, they boost our own level of consciousness. Isn't that what we're talking about here today as well?
Yes, this is so true. In fact, I think we use now, okay, we are spiritual people and so on, because we do what actually should be normal for everyone. We are spiritual beings in an experience on Earth, and we are here to remind and remember ourselves and others that they are also. So it's a little bit strange to For me, it's a little bit strange to say, okay, we are spiritual beings. It always seems that it is something special, but in fact, we all are. So the people who don't want to have their spirituality, means their frequency, their light, their energy, they miss something. And I think what we can do is just with our life and our own frequency to encourage other people and to be this example. No? We say the practice, we do practice what we teach. And so other people might be encouraged also to open their heart again for themselves. It's nothing special. It's just the essence of us. We are
Yeah.
spirit. Yes.
Yeah. But let's talk about the times we live in today. And, you know, I referenced thousands and thousands of years ago, and I think things are relative. People always ask me about this. They always say to me, we're living in such hectic times. And I always like to reflect back and I would say, this has been true for humanity. The only difference between now and, the hectic time of people that walked the earth thousands of years ago was its relativity. And what I mean by that is that those folks had the same challenges of survival that we have today. But let's talk about this. We're now dealing in an electromagnetic conundrum right now, and it's not going to change. AI, technology, everything getting smaller in terms of meaning our access. 5-year-olds have cell phones, right? So let's talk about the transition times we're living in today and how the shift in the frequency, right, can be moderated by salt frequency.
Yeah, it's a very important topic because most of the people, as you say, feel that everything is becoming worse or they are very stressed up, they are exhausted. And if you take a look at the Western world and so on, we have a really great life if we compare it to, I don't know, 100 or 200 years ago
Yeah.
from one side, but from the other side, maybe it has been easier to live without all these technologies we have now. So we have to get used a little bit to this, not only the 5 year, the children who grow up with this, but I think also we as adults have to get used to these new technologies. And the speciality from human beings is that we have this free will. And so we can use everything for a good reason or for not such a good reason. And so every one of us has every second to decide, okay, shall I scroll now a little bit more and take a look at the bad news or just stop it, or I listen to a spiritual talk as we do now. So it's always this
Yeah.
decision we have to make. And in this small decisions every day, we change the frequency. Some people think that, okay, I do a seminar now, or I do a salt seminar, for example, and after everything will be great and I will be on a high frequency. Yes and no. You have to do practice in everyday life. Otherwise, it will not work out, because it's like we have to do every step consciously, and this free will is so important. And now for the transition of times we are in, I think I have many clients who are very, from time to time, they are a little bit exhausted, as maybe every one of us, and they say, "Oh, why I'm in this life? Why did I choose this incarnation?
Yeah.
Everything is so difficult." You know
Yeah.
something like this, I'm sure. And I always try to convince them that it is a really big, a huge gift that you are here, that we are here in this incarnation, because all the souls at the moment on earth decided, of course, consciously, that they want to help this transition. And when I say this, I mean also I say it now in simple words, okay? The good guys and the bad guys, we need each other. So the bad guys help the good guys to become even better. And
Yeah.
some time maybe also the what we think they are the bad guys, they will have another goal in their yes, incarnation.
Yeah.
However, so, I want to open a little bit this consciousness also. It's not everything bad. It's what you make it of. Of course, if you just take a look at the news and you think about the last 5 or 10 years, it seems everything has become more quicker. The time flows by and it
Yeah.
has compressed and so on. And for sure, there is a truth in it. But the more difficulty we experience, the more opportunities we have, and everything from my side of things happens so that people remember and open again to their own power and to their own divine power. And we are so powerful, and we allow somebody from the bad guys, let's say, to say us what to do. Most people or many people. So salt frequencies wants to encourage you to take your power back. Let everything happen what is to happen. We are in times of transition, but it will, this, some people say also there is a time shift or there will come a sun,
A lot of theories.
yes, and everything will change and we will have our youth again and we are
Yeah.
healthy. Should happen. It's great if it happens. But until then, I think every one of us is responsible to do its very best, and to remember this divine power within. And their salt is like salt frequencies build a bridge to this essence everyone has inside. And so, not from one day to the other, but slowly, slowly, you can unpack again your gifts, your
Yeah.
qualities. So,
Yeah.
I think I didn't answer exactly your
No,
question.
you did, because here's a follow-up conversation. Let's talk about the benefits of salt frequencies very specifically, especially because you work with people, you see people change. And what is the feeling that people express? And let's talk about how salt frequencies are used, because I think it's important that we educate people that we're talking about more than table salt, although we are talking about table salt too. And, in the United States, I can only talk about here, Himalayan salt took the world by storm here. And if you go back a couple of decades, I do believe, is where it kind of popped up here, right? All of a sudden, it's like you don't even buy anything that's not like Himalayan salt here. We have made a transition in a culture that would have never considered that. So part of that had to be how people felt. See, you just don't make changes in your family structure like that. Because salt was a staple on food tables going back hundreds of years. Salt was a staple. My family grew up in the South. They would use salt to preserve, to smoke meat, all of the above. But let's talk from where you sit. Let's talk about the specific frequency and ask how we can use these to clear ourselves, to remove the fear. You understand those things you just talked about. So tell us how you work with salt and what the experiences of people that you know have been.
Yes, thank you. Of course, there are different experiences, but one common experience of most of my clients or who do the seminar after the salt priest training is that they feel coming home. Like it's like, now I know why I am here. It's like the salt energy embraces every soul and sees the beauty within. And so people feel that they are recognized and just accepted as they are. And from there you can start. If you tell your client you have to do this and that and that and that, he becomes stressed. But if there is an acceptance and like, okay, there's just love and you don't have to do anything, just let go. This is the base. And from there we can start. And then we start now in my training, it's about bringing the creation levels of salt into the chakras. And the chakras, your creative power and so on, are brought to a new level of frequency, which fits in these times. This is one. But now, more personal experiences from my clients is that even clients who work by themselves with other clients, they are therapist, healer, and so on. They
Yeah.
say after a while, it's really amazing because salt found the reason for a problem, or salt helped to dissolve this problem, but in a way which is not very, very painful, or it does not have to be so much emotions. You don't have
Yeah.
to do, I don't know, hundreds of regression sessions to remember yourself. It's
Yeah.
just take what it's yours from this past life experiences, and then you become whole again. And this is
Yeah.
something my clients always say, that they feel so much more peace within. And as I said also before, many people feel like it's a punishment to be on earth at the moment
Yeah.
in incarnation. And salt brings peace to this incarnation because it heals the connection also with Mother Earth and maybe some traumatic experiences in other lifetimes and so on. So it's salt, I don't want to say salt can do anything. No, it's not like this, because it's always the incarnation path of everyone, and salt helps to support everyone
Yeah.
on this path.
Yeah.
So, yes, please.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about, you mentioned it 4 times now, and I really want to talk about it because your site, and can we mention your site and the school? Because I spent some time looking at this, and I want to tell all of you, please go look at the website, but go look at the school and the courses. I want you all to lean into the gallery of pictures that I want people to see this, because when you're looking at these folks that are part of the teachings, right? So can you tell folks, one, how do they find out about the teachings? And then there's a history that you talk about. I didn't know this. I think the salt frequency and salt healing, what was it? Discovered in Crete? I didn't know that. I think that was part of it, right? But your website in how you teach people or invite them, it's just beautiful to see these people. So what is the best way for people to experience this? Where should they go?
You mean now on my site, and
Yes.
yes, to take a look at it. Otherwise, if you want just to feel it by yourself, you can come in my Facebook group. Also, I do monthly one free
Yes.
English version, also meditation and diving into the salt frequencies. And the online training or the live trainings also, it's such a simple way of teaching, because, as I said, people just feel that they are coming home, and at the same time, miracles can happen. So just go on my site, and if you have questions, of course, you can talk with me and write me, and we will do a call for free somehow like this.
Yeah. I also paid very close attention to what people said and their experiences. And, when we look at things like this, I always love to really look at everything that's happening here. And what you're doing is you're not just coaching, you're inviting people, you're training people, you're mentoring people. You do salt readings, right? Salt healing school. So there's just so much around this. But I think what tells the story for me is when I read what people's experiences say, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I was reading one person on the site that says the light salts helps us all come closer to our inner peace and our true self. Their healing energy works on all levels. They remind us of our divine origin, which we all have inside ourselves. It would be my great honor and joy to accompany you on this healing path and to help you remember yourself. I mean, these are people that are writing experiences that we need to remind people of. So part of this for doing a show like this is to, one, I want to thank you for taking this message out. But I want to now talk in a few minutes, the time we have left, about what this does. Everything from an aura that may need adjusting to clarity to helping people that don't feel like prosperity or abundance is in their realm. So, walk us through some of these things that we can ask Salt to help us with.
Of course. Yes, it's a wonderful question and topic because before you do a seminar, you can, of course, just open your heart and connect from your heart with salt frequencies. They are everywhere. We just have forgotten about this, and you can sit or walk and you say, okay, please, salt energies, help me now to go through this day. Give me guidance if you are lost. If you have fear, you can ask salt to transform your fear into love, into peace, whatever you need. You can align your day in the morning with salt energies. You can imagine that a wonderful, colorful salt energy flow comes to you and it nurtures your body, and all your cells are nurtured with whatever they need at the moment. Or in the evening, you ask from the salt energies to clean your aura from all the experiences of the day. Very important this point in our times now also, and to keep your consciousness clear. These are very small alignments during the day. You always can connect with salt energies and ask, please support me, please help me, please clean my energy field. Oh, I am so upset at the moment. Please help me not to say something wrong. So it's salt energy which makes you balance again in yourself and to find peace and to find your place in life. And you can just ask for guidance every day. And then maybe in the beginning you don't have at once a feeling, oh, now this is salt energy. But after a while, you will understand that there is a very strong energy with you. Yes.
Once we realize this, it opens up a pathway, right? Because one, I think people are surprised a bit. And two, they understand that they now can learn and use these teachings in every day of their lives. See, I think that's what we get so mystified when we talk about these things. But what you're talking about is helping people through their everyday lives, right?
Yes, and this is the maybe the most important message. It's not about doing just a therapy. It's for daily life. It's really grounded, and it's to find your natural way again of life and your essence, and like nature, really your true self. And it's very easy. It's not complicated. Yes.
It's not complicated. And, I love that we're talking about this because part of the journey and part of the conversation around this is really looking at how we can use it in our everyday lives. But more importantly, let's talk for a minute how this works with an open heart and an open mind. And, what I mean by that is that you have to have a starting point. And for many of us, it was, let's just say, on my healing journey, it was a shift in my belief. And the shift in my belief was I can get well. Whatever the doctors are telling me, I now live in the Pacific Northwest and I have people here that are talking about things I don't understand, but they're telling me I can get well. So I had to make an adjustment in my heart and my mind, and I had to keep that adjustment. And that is a powerful tool. But it sounds like the frequency of salt amplifies what the outcome could become if we do approach it with an open heart and an open mind.
Yes, this is true because salt always knows what is good for you. This sounds a little bit strange, but salt knows everything about us. We can say it's like a kasha. Salt does not want to push you somewhere. Salt wants you to find your own path again and your own wonderful heart. So to open your heart, what does it mean? If somebody is desperate, for example, just to say, okay, Dear Salt, I don't know how to go on in my life. I just, please help me to find my path again. And so you will feel maybe a flow of love coming to your heart, and then you find courage again and you can do the next
Yeah.
step.
Yeah.
Somehow like this. It's an inner journey. You
It's
can't expect
perfect.
from the salt that, okay, now everything is perfect. No, you have to do your steps, but salt will support you.
Yeah. And you know what I love about this too, and I want to talk about this because, you know, when you're stuck, when a person, an individual is stuck, that's my favorite word. Okay. Um, that's why I created Unstuckable, because that's been my journey, this thing of stuckness. But the thing that has gotten me unstuck is exactly what you've talked about. It's this inner knowing, almost intuition. But what we're talking about here is that salt is a spiritual frequency. And when we can step into that space, which I call possibility, learning about the frequency of salt and how to use them is that thing that will help somebody like me make a major decision. Like, do I move my company to New Jersey? Right now, that's a big decision for me. But if I only did that at a human level, I would not get the answer. You see, so these are the kinds of things I think you're talking about, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Like this. It makes us, it's like heart over mind, and even more than heart, your spiritual possibilities come again into your human being, and then many things are possible. Yes.
Yeah. Well, look, thank you for today. Please, let's give out the website. And then I'd love to know your closing message because there's something about what we talked about that is such a great solution for people. If they would just open their hearts and mind to it, they would find some peace that they're not able to find in traditional ways that they're doing it. So, what's your personal message and what's the website that they can go to and the Facebook page?
Okay. The message, the closing message is that you are allowed to feel home in yourself, and so you can find peace. This is somehow the message of the souls for today. Allow yourself to find peace in this lifetime in yourself. And my website is Salica slash saltvision.com, and Facebook Salica Salt Consciousness.
Thank you so very, very much for this. And reminding us, especially when people go to your website, reminding us that these are folks that are working with you. And I'm going to encourage all of you, go in, take a look at the Healing School. And then when you scroll down just a little bit, look at those pictures because there's a frequency in them. There's something that you'll pick up on that you'll say to yourself, I want this. I want this for myself. And it's really just a message away, an email, a Facebook look. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you, Dr. Pat.
Thank you. For all of you out there, if you have ever been as sick as I was in 2004, you'll understand how deeply embedded in my heart today's show was. Because without knowledge, without this information, without the message that has been so part of our history in humanity and salt frequencies, I don't think any of us would be here. We just don't remember how powerful it is. So please check it out. I know that I did. I know that part of my healing was embedded in things we've talked about today. See you next time.